Need some cool furniture ideas in Minecraft? I got you covered. Hey, what's up? How is everyone doing today? And welcome to 150 furniture designs for your Minecraft house, including sofas, beds, tables, chairs, wardrobes, baths, showers, ovens, fridges, all that lovely stuff. And if you do enjoy, please drop the video a like. I'd really appreciate that. But without wasting any more time, let's jump in to some furniture. So first up, let's start off with some couch design. So first up, we've got this modern yellow couch just here. And I've just done this by placing 6 yellow wool going around and then 2 quartz slabs in the middle there for a nice comfy looking sofa just there. And the next up, moving along, we've got something a little bit more modern. And for this, just added 3 quartz stairs in a row and then 1 curved one on the end there, followed by some slabs going all the way around it. And that just adds a more sleek look to this sofa here. And then moving on, we've got your classic armchair here. And just for this, I've just added 2 stairs in the front, followed by 2 blocks and then 2 slabs. And the next up, similar to the first design I showed you, I've just heightened the back by 1 more block just to give it a more cozy feel. So if you want a sofa that is comfy enough to sleep in it for hours on end, I think this design works quite well for that. Next up, we've got another comfy couch design here, but this time it's got a bit of wood in it. So I've just surrounded this in some oak trapdoors and then an oak plank slab just in the middle there, just to add a few more natural elements to it while still keeping some of the colour in. And I feel like this sofa would look quite nice in a survival build as well. And the next up, we've got this large quartz sofa here. So this again has quite a large back to make it look extra comfy. And I've also managed to add some quartz stairs just on each end there, just to make it look a bit more curved, make it look that little bit more soft there. And again, just adding 2 slabs in the front to dip down so we can sit in it just like that. And the next up is your simple wooden sofa here. And this is very simple, just by using some wooden stairs and then just some trapdoors on the end there. I do like how simplistic this design is, and I think it's definitely quite a nice design to do in survival as well. And next up, we've got another modern sofa. This one's a bit futuristic. I had a bit of an experiment with this one. But for this one, I just added some quartz blocks at the back there with some slabs on top. And then just in front, 4 slabs just there to act as a seat, and these slabs on the top still act as like a back. But I think it's quite nice, kind of just more modern design for that one. And then for the next sofa design, kind of similar to the one I done over there, but this time I thought I'd make it look that little bit more comfy by adding some blue wool just here and then some blue wool on the slabs as well. And I feel like this sofa design would actually look quite good maybe in like a bowling alley where you're sitting down waiting for your bowling balls, waiting for your turn. So yeah, I think it would be a cool place to use this design. And the next up, we've got a larger wooden couch here. So instead of just using the stairs, I thought it'd be cool to add some slabs just in this middle gap here, just so you can actually fit on the sofa a lot easier. And I think it just looks a lot comfier as well. And the next up, we've got a smaller modern couch design here, which actually uses a bed. So what I've done here, I've just added a Minecraft bed in the front there, and then some white wool at the back, and then some oak signs either side. And I feel like the legs on the bed just gives it a modern look. And what I love about using beds for a sofa is that you can bounce on them. Yes. So you can have a little bounce on the sofa as well, which I think is quite fun. So yeah, I do like the design for that as well. And the next up, we've got a sofa with a cool little pattern on there. So using some other slabs and blocks, I managed to add like a little black streak just in the middle there, just to give the sofa a cool pattern there. So just 3 blocks at the back, 2 stairs either side, and then a slab in the middle there. And the next up, I like a sofa because it kind of merges kind of a wooden sofa but still makes it look comfortable. So what I've done, just more like a wooden base just there. So just 2 wooden blocks either side and then 2 birch slabs just there. And then for the back, I've just added 4 wool just there. So this sofa is great if you want a natural looking sofa but still making it look that little bit more comfy there. And the next up, we've got our sofa bed design here. So for this, just done orange wool going all the way around, and then 3 quartz stairs in the middle, and then just added some slabs going out to make it look like the bed is extending out for all those long nights where you're watching the TV and then you fall asleep and then you wake up not remembering you went to bed. So yes, this is a good design for that. And I think you could probably play around with this maybe by deleting some of these slabs, and then you could make it look like you've got a sofa that reclines, which I think would be a cool idea as well. And then for the final sofa here, we've got a black and white design. And for the seat itself, I thought it would be cool to use some snow, because what I like about using snow for sofas is that you can easily adjust the height of snow, so you can create quite a few cool designs. So if I get some snow and then just place it down, as you can see, as I place it down, I can adjust the level. So it just enables me to have a little play around, which I think is quite nice for when you're designing sofas, which is why I think snow is a great thing to use. And now for some table design. So first up, we've got a modern table here. So for this, I've just used some white stained glass panes, just done them in a 2x2 plot of land just there. And on top, I've just added some white carpets just to make it look clean and modern there. So I do like that table very much. And the next up, we've got your classic piston table. And this is just done by placing a redstone block under a piston to power it. And as the piston is extended, it looks like a nice wooden table. And this was actually the first table design I ever learned. And I do think it's just quite a nice simple design, which is quite easy to do. So yeah, I do like the piston design. I do think it works quite nicely for like a workshop bench. I think that would work quite nice for that. And the next up, we've got your classic wooden style table there. So just got some fences going around just there, in a 2x2 plot there, and then just added some pressure plates on top. And I think this would work quite nice maybe outside for like a picnic bench. I think that would look quite cool. And then next up, we've got another more modern table design here. So this is just by using some quartz stairs and then some slabs in the middle there. And I like this one just because of how simple it is and how clean looking it is. I think that's quite nice. And then moving on, we've got another glass table here. And I've just done this by 2 glass panes either side. And I've also added some string on the bottom here just so I can place 2 carpets on top just to make the table a little bit wider. So I think this table would be nice for maybe like a modern desk design. I think that would look quite nice. And then next up, we got a more modern reserved wooden table here. But what I like about this one is just how simple it is. All you need is some birch stairs, and I just place these going all the way around in a circle, and that'll give you a nice little simple table just like this. And now we've got another modern style table here, but this one, as you can see, I've used some stairs just going around here with some carpets on top. And what I like about this one is it almost looks like there's like some sort of storage that we can do underneath it, which I think looks quite nice. And the next up, we've got a larger scaled table here. And as you can see, I've used loads of string under this table so we can extend the carpet out to make the tabletop bigger. And I feel like this table would suit more of a kind of like a large dining area. I think that would look quite nice. And then next up, similar to the simplistic quartz table I showed you earlier, this one, instead of using stairs, it's got 2 full blocks either side and then some slabs in the middle. And then just for a bit of a contrast, just to make it look a little bit less kind of plain, I've just added some grey carpet on top, which I think just finishes it off nicely there. And then next up, we've got another table using the carpets here, but this time I've used some deep slate tile walls here just for the legs, which I think looks quite nice, especially with the white tabletop. I think that just looks very modern. And again, I've just used some string underneath that to make sure the carpets can stay up there. And next up, we've got a smaller table design, and I think this is another one that could be used for a desk. So just for this one, I've just flipped up some trapdoors either side. So as you can see, I've added some levers underneath the block they've been placed on just to flip them up. And then just some string in the middle there just to support the carpets, just like that. So I think that looks quite nice for a desk just there. And the next up, we've got another glass table here. And this one uses 4 glass blocks in the center there. And then just going around it, some blue carpet with some string underneath, again, to make sure it's supported. And I think this table would look quite nice outside. I think it'd be a nice outside summer table, which I think would look quite cool. And then moving on, we've got another more rustic table here. So just for this, I've just used some oak fences just to either side there. And on top, I've just added some oak trapdoors there. And I think this would be nice to just place outside, maybe, again, another picnic bench or just an outdoor bench. And then for the next design, I've used some lightning rods here. And I do like these because they look like table legs. So I've just placed 4 of them just there and then some orange carpet on top to finish it off for a nice, bright, funky orange table there. And then moving on, we've got a scaffold block there. And I've just placed that down with some brown carpet on there. And what I love about scaffold blocks is that they naturally look like tables and they're not that big. So if you have a smaller house and you can't really fit much in there, then I think this table design would suit that perfectly as it doesn't take up much room. So next up, for some wardrobes here. So firstly, we've got your classic simplistic wardrobe here, which I do like just because of its simplicity. I think it just makes it look very modern in that sense. So I've just added 2 stone buttons there just to act as handles, which I think makes it look like a wardrobe. So I think I like this one just because of how clean looking it is. And the next up, if you want a wardrobe that's a little bit more functional, I think this one's definitely ideal. So I've just done this by placing 2 slabs at the bottom, and then I just drop down some armor stands, then 2 slabs on top of these armor stands, and then just on top, just for a bit of extra storage, just a nice large chest above there. And the next up, we've got our trapdoor wardrobe, and this is definitely an interesting design. But what I've done here, I've just added loads of trapdoors going all the way around, leaving some room here. And you've got plenty of space here, maybe to fill it up with some armor stands or chests again. And the next up, we've got another modern looking wardrobe. This time, I've just added some grey banners there to make it look like some sort of mirror. And then I've just added a quartz stair just there, just to make it look like a handle so you can open the wardrobe. And then we've also got another modern one here with a cool little checkered pattern here. And I've done this by adding some iron trapdoors with some levers at the back just there. And the next up, similar to the first design I showed you, I thought it'd be cool to add some trapdoors on the edge just to give it a little bit more definition. And I think this would probably look nice in maybe a more survivally house as well. And next up, we've got a standing wardrobe. So these are the ones that are usually raised up. So I just used some diorite walls just at the bottom there with some concrete on top, and again 2 buttons just there. And the next up, we've got another wardrobe using the mirror banner design. But this time I've just doubled it up just to make it look that little bit bigger for maybe a master bedroom. And again, just 2 buttons on the side for some handles. And the next up, we've got another functional wardrobe here. And this one uses some carpets for some shelving there. And we've also got some white shulker boxes just for some extra storage, which I think is quite neat. And then if we want to keep it all wooden, we've got a wooden wardrobe design here. So this is just 6 planks on the top, followed by 2 buttons for some handles, and I've also managed to fit some barrels on the bottom there. Again, just for some additional storage, which I think can be handy, especially in survival mode. And the next up, we have got another interesting wooden design here. So I've just added some stairs on the bottom there just to make it look like a drawer, which you can pull in and out there. And then we've also got a stone button just there, again, for a handle. And then moving on, we've got another interesting wardrobe design here. So for this one, I thought it'd be nice to add a wooden base for this one. So I added 2 wooden stairs on the bottom there for some legs, and then 6 concrete on top. And then this time I used some tripwire hooks, which I think is another cool handle design there as well. And the next up, we've got a more modern wardrobe. And this time I've actually managed to add a glass section here so you can see inside the wardrobe. And I've added some carpets inside there just for some shelving, which I think looks quite neat. And again, 2 buttons on the bottom there for some more handles. And next up, we've got another modern wardrobe, this time quite a large wardrobe. So just 2 doors either side with a button, again, for a handle. So these are just too thick, and then I've just placed some grey concrete going up just to divide the 2 doors there. And then using the new mangrove trapdoors, which came in the recent update, we can use them to create a kind of like a snazzy red wardrobe, which I think looks quite cool. So if you're bored of the normal oak planks, I think this is definitely another option to use if you want to have a wardrobe with a little bit more colour in your world. So next up, let's have a look at some shelf designs here. So first up, we've got your classic nice modern shelf here, and just to make this, it's just some quartz stairs which are piled up on top of each other. And then once it gets to the top, I've just added some 2 quartz slabs just to finish it off there. I do like this design just because of how simple and sleek it is. And then next up, we've got a more kind of pigeonhole kind of design. So just for that, got some oak stairs there, and I'm just placing one here and another one in the other direction just there. And then I'm just stacking them, and then again, similar to that shelf design, just finishing it off with an oak slab as well. And then next up, we've got another modern shelf design. And this is a more kind of like a shoe holder kind of shelf design. So what I've done for this is just some quartz stairs, and then I've just placed them next to each other, just in rows, and then again topping it off with a slab at the top there. So this is quite a nice shelf design for a shoe holder or some sort of organisational system, which I think will be quite nice. Oh, Larry, you're back. And then moving on, we've got another kind of small shelf design here with small little places to put stuff. I do like this one just because of how more spread out it is. I think it just looks a little bit neater than that one there. But again, this would probably make use as another nice shoe holder or something like that. So again, for this one, I've just added a block and then a stair next to it. I've just alternated this going all the way to the top, and again finishing that off with 2 slabs. And the next up, we've got a floating shelf design here. And I do like this one just because of how clean it looks. And I do like floating shelves in general. So this one's nice to be put up against the wall. So it's just 2 slabs with half a gap in between. And then moving on, we've got some box shelves here. So if you want a little box, if you want a box style shelf that's quite a little bit bigger, this one's quite nice. So it's just 4 stairs going all the way around in a circle there. So the way you do this is, if I grab some birch stairs here, I just place one there, and then I'm just going to place an upside down one on top of that. And as you can see, that creates the first half. And I just mirror that on the other side. That'll give us a circle like this. So I've just stacked these on top of each other, just like this. But I think it does make a cool little shelf design there. And next up, we've got quite a funky shelf design. And this is kind of like a statue slash shelf, which is why I think it looks quite cool. And this is just quartz stairs stacked up on top of each other, just like this. I think this would be quite nice to maybe display some picture frames on, or just something like that. And then if you want a shelf that's a little bit more wooden, I've got a design like this. So we've got some oak slabs, and just place these with one gap in between, and just some oak trapdoors on the end there. And next up, if you want a shelf that's a little bit more functional, we've got a really cool modern design here. So what I've done here, just got some blue concrete, and I've just kind of like checkered this just like this, and that's allowed me to leave some gaps here, which we can place some items in. So for example, I can easily place a flower pot in between these gaps, which I think looks quite nice. And then just for the sides, I've just used some iron trapdoors either side, and of course got some levers on the back to activate them as well. And the next up, we've got another functional design here, and this one's quite cool. It's like a zigzag shelf, which I thought was quite an interesting idea. So this is quite nice. Only the top bit is functional, so I can add something on there, but I think it's just a nice simplistic design. And the next up, we've got a shelf design with some doors on. So I thought it would be quite cool to add maybe a door feature where you can open and close different sections of the shelf, which I think looks quite nice. And I've just used some stairs in between these, just to make it look like you can place stuff on the shelf just there. Next up, we've got some more box shelf designs here, and this one's just a little bit smaller, and I think you can just fit it on a smaller wall here. But I thought it'd be nice to use some quartz for this one, just to make it look that little bit more sleek and modern. And again, we can add stuff on top of these 2 sections here as well. And then moving along, we've got some very simplistic but clean looking floating white shelves in. I do like these just because of how simple they are. And then for a more interesting shelf design, we've got some sort of zigzag shelf here, which I think looks quite cool. And I've just done this by using some quartz slabs with a block on the end of each layer, and just alternating that until I reach the top. And then at the top, just some quartz slabs on top there. And then last but not least, we have got a more industrial style shelf here. And just for this, I've just used some grey concrete either side, and then some trapdoors just on the bottom and the top there. Again, which we can place items on. I think it'd look cool maybe if you could place maybe some boxes on there, or just something like that. I think that'd look quite cool. And the next up, we've got some bed designs here. So first up, kind of following the same colour scheme as the original Minecraft bed here. I've just got 6 red wool there, and then 2 white wool above that, with some oak planks just at the back there with some slabs on top. Just for a nice simplistic large bed design. So if you want something a little bit more to scale without using the regular Minecraft beds, then this is definitely a nice design to use for that. And the next up, we've got more of a modern design here. So what I've done for this, we've just got a birch back just there, and I've just used some quartz slabs coming out of here to create a cool floating bed design. And then just on top of that, I've added some yellow carpet for a nice duvet there, and then 2 white wool just at the back there. And the next up, similar to the first design I showed you, this one just has some posts on the front and back, which adds a bit of extra dimension to the bed. And then moving along, this time I've used some stone bricks here. I've just added 2 stone brick stairs at the front there, some slabs in the middle, and then some stairs on the end there with some blocks at the back there. And that just adds a nice little frame design for the bed. And again, I've just added some carpet on top. So this looks more like kind of looks like a prison bed actually the more I look at it, but this is quite a nice bed if you want something that's a little bit more robust. And now we've got another large modern bed here, and for this modern bed, it's just some wool that I've placed in the middle here. So I've just got some purple wool that I've just placed here, and then some white wool above that for a pillow. And I've just surrounded this with some quartz slabs just to frame it off a bit and make it look that little bit neater. And then just to make it that little bit neater there, and then just at the back, just added some quartz blocks with some slabs on top, just for a backboard there, which I think looks quite nice. And then for another large modern bed design, this one's another floating one. So I've just used some deep slate tiles here, and then I've just placed So I've just placed some deep slate along the back wall here, and I've just extended these out. So I've just extended the tiles out, and then just on the end I've just added some stairs just to curve it around to make it look like it's supported on the floor just there. And on top I've just added some more carpet just to make it look again more like a bed just there. And next up, if you're looking for a more organic looking bed, this one's quite nice. This is all wood, so this is just by using some oak wood just here, I've just created a nice backboard just there, and I've just placed some oak planks in a square just in front of it just here. So I've just done a 4x4 square there. On top I've just added some more carpet just to make it look again more like the pillows in the duvet just there, again making it look like another bed. So this one's quite nice if you want. I feel like this would look quite cool in maybe like a log cabin, something like that. I think that would fit in quite nicely there. And now we've got a large scale bunk bed here. So again, this is just like the standard bed design with the wall, like the first bed I did. But I've just stacked these on top of each other here with some yellow and white wool. And just to frame them a bit more, I added some signs just going along the sides here. And then obviously to get up to the bed, I just added a ladder here where you can climb up and hop into the bed just there. And the next up, we've got a sunken bed design, which I think looks quite neat. I've used some wood just to frame it going all the way around, with a half slab at the back there to raise it a little bit for a headboard. And again, just added some purple carpet on top just to make it look like a duvet, and it just makes it look that little bit raised, which I think looks quite neat. And then for a comfy pillow, I've used some snow just there. And the next up, we've got a cool race cart bed design here. So I've just made some sort of race cart frame just by placing some black wool on the corners for some wheels, followed by four red blocks, 4 red concrete in between there, and then 2 at the front there. Then for the second layer, I've just added some more concrete on this back section here, 2 glass either side, then a quartz block and a slab just to curve it down slightly. And then just for the back, just added some stairs going along there, and then a quartz block either side, and then some slabs in between there. And then for the bed itself, I've just added some grey wool there with some more snow for a nice comfy pillow there as well. And the next up, if you want a bed that's functional and uses the original Minecraft beds, I've got some extra designs here as well. So for this one, if you want to just neaten the beds off a bit, you can just add 2 beds just there and some quartz slabs going all the way around, which I think looks quite neat. And then if you just want to neaten off the beds a little bit more, you can just use some wood as like a headboard there. So I've just placed 2 birch planks just there with some slabs on top, just to make a headboard for the bed, just to make it look that little bit more complete. And then if you want to make the bed again a little bit more modern, what you can do, you can make the headboard out of quartz this time, and then you can also add some side panels. I've used some birch signs there just for either side, and then in front I've just added some quartz slabs just there to neaten it off that a little bit more. And the next up, if you want a larger bed design that is actually functional, what you could do, what I've done, I've just added a layer of wool just here, and then on top of that I've topped it off with some carpet and some snow at the back there. And then by doing this, I can actually place the bed inside by just carving out a middle section of it, and then I just place a sign carpet on top of that just to hide it. And then as you're sleeping, it will look like you're actually sleeping in the bed, which I think will be quite nice if you do like this large bed design. And then if you want a bed that's a little bit more freestanding, you can do this thing with doors and trapdoors, where you place 2 trapdoors just on the end there, and then 2 doors at the back there. And the next up, we've got some chair designs which can be used usually near a table or something like that. So first up, we've got your classic small modern chair here. So I've just got a quartz slab there with an iron trapdoor behind it, and I just like how simple and small this chair is, and I think it'll work quite nice for a little table or something like that. And then moving along, we've got a slightly bigger scaled chair here, again quite modern with the quartz and the iron door behind it, with some birch slabs either side, again for a nice little dining table design just there. And the next up, for a higher stool, so this is probably more like a bar stool or something like that, we've got a stone wall just there with some birch signs either side and a quartz stair just to top that. And then moving along, we've got a wooden armchair here, and this is just done with a dark oak slab there, and then just 2 dark oak slabs either side, and then a door behind it. So this is quite a nice comfy armchair design. So next up, we've got a similar design but just made it a little bit more bright and modern. So I've just done this by adding a quartz slab just there, and then 2 iron trapdoors either side, and then an iron trapdoor just at the back. And just for a bit of extra colour, I thought it'd be cool to add a yellow banner just there as well to colorise it. And the next up, we've got another stall design, and this one's just done by adding a carpet on a fence post, and then just a wooden trapdoor just behind it there for a nice little bar stool design there as well. And then for the dining table design here, I've used a scaffold block there, which again naturally looks like some chair legs, which I think looks quite nice. And on top of that, I've just added a white carpet and then a birch door just behind that again for a nice back just there. And then moving along, we've also got ourselves a sun lounger here, and this is just done with a oak stair there and an oak slab just in front of it. And then with an oak trapdoor, just place some going all the way around the stair just for some nice armrest there. And you could probably extend this out as well if you wanted to make it a little bit longer. But that is a nice kind of outdoorsy chair design just there. Next up, we've got a gaming chair design, and for this I've actually used an armor stand. So what I've done here, I've just placed 2 armor stands in a crisscross pattern, and I've just pushed this grey wall into it using a piston. I find it easier to push it downwards so you're not moving the armor stand. So that's pushed into the armor stands just there. I've also just pushed in a quartz slab just there, which I've done from above again, and that will bring it just here. And on top, I've just added a blue bit of carpet just there, and I've also added some iron trapdoors either side with some levers just to activate them there as well. And then for this game chair, I actually used a barrier block for this, because that will allow us to add the iron door at the back. And then just by doing that, I can also add a blue banner on it as well, just to give it a little bit more colour. And the next up, we've got a more comfy chair design here. So for this one, just got some wall just there with a wooden slab in front of it with some signs either side for some rest. And the next up, we've got another comfy chair design here, again with some wall at the back and then 2 smooth stone slabs just in the front there as well. And then using the armor stand method that we use for the gaming chair, again just crisscrossed them in a block and then pushed an oak slab downwards onto it, and then just some carpet on top for a nice bar stool, again for use in maybe some sort of bar area or kitchen area. And the next up, we've got a modern armchair here, and for this I've just added 2 quartz stairs either side with some quartz slabs on top there. Then I've just used a deep slate slab just there for the seat, and then to make it look that extra bit comfier, I've just added some green wool just there for a nice comfy back, which I think looks quite nice. And the next up, if you want a more formal kind of wooden dining chair design, so for this it's just an oak stair with some brown carpet on and then just 3 trapdoors behind it. And the next up, if you want a cool futuristic chair design, we've got this pod design here, which I think would look quite cool for maybe a bedroom or maybe a VR center where they've got those pods. That's what reminded me of it when I was building it. But yeah, so this is quite a cool chair design. And what I've done here, so firstly, it's just some quartz stairs which I've placed in a loop going all the way around for a little base there. And then just on top of that, I added 2 quartz stairs going the opposite direction, followed by 2 upside down ones behind it. And then on top of those upside down ones, I added 2 full quartz blocks with 2 normal stairs facing the other way just on top there. And then on the other side, I added 2 more stairs, but this time they're upside down and facing opposite each other. And then just 2 iron trapdoors either side with levers to activate them. And then just 2 stairs on the bottom there as well. And to add a bit of colour, I thought it would be nice to add some red banners there as well. And the next up, we got some TV designs as well. So firstly, we've got this classic box TV, which I've made by using some oak trapdoors, just going around some black concrete just there, with a painting placed in front. And that can just be placed on a little cabinet just like this. So that's just nice for your classic kind of box style Minecraft TV there. And then if you want something a little bit more modern, we've got this flat screen style just here. So this is just black concrete, which I've placed 3 of just there. And I've just added some iron trapdoors on the top and the bottom there just to frame it a little bit more, which I think looks quite nice and just adds a modern touch to that TV just there. And then if we want a TV which has booming speakers, maybe for like a cinema room, I think this TV works quite well for that. So this is just grey concrete on the bottom there, 5 there, and then 6 black concrete just there, followed by a block of netherite on either side with some item frames of grey wall in for some speakers just there as well. Now, if you want to go for a retro TV, we've got something like this. And to make it look that little bit more retro, it's just 2 black concrete just there with some levers on either side, which are flicked, which are flicked in the opposite direction either side. And then just to frame it off a little bit more, I've got another 2 iron trap doors just either side, just there. And next up, if you want to go for a more old-fashioned TV, which is a little bit bigger, we've got this design here. So again, we've got our 2x3 black concrete just there. I've just got 2 iron blocks on either side with some iron trap doors on the top and bottom, just to add a retro touch there as well. And next up, if you want a flat screen but we want to go that a little bit bigger, we've got this design here. So here we've got a 2x4 rectangle full of black concrete just there. And then again, to frame it off, similar to the other modern TV over there, I've got some iron trap doors, just 4 on the top and the bottom there. And next up, if you want to go with something quite interesting, more of like a freestanding TV, we've got this design here. And this just uses some black glass panes there, which has got some black concrete on top of that, followed by some carpet on top just to finish it off there. That just adds a nice a cool little floating TV design there as well. And the next up, if you want a smaller TV that still looks modern, we've got this design here. So that's just got black concrete in the middle there, 2 iron trap doors, and then some black carpet on top. And I think this would be quite nice, maybe like a bedroom TV. I think that would look quite nice. And moving along for another wall TV, just for a flatter design, I've actually managed to use some banners for this. So just for these banners, the way I have done these, so if I get a loom, place that banner in there. What I've done with some white dye, I've placed 1 stripe just there. I've also done a middle one just well there. And just by doing this, it just creates the side panel. And then I just do the opposite of that for the other side, on the other side there. And then if you want to go with something a little bit more small, again, this is like a TV cabinet. So I've just added 2 black concrete on top of some quartz stairs there with some iron doors next to each of the stairs just there. And then just a painting there to finish it off to make it look like it's turned on. So that's quite nice if you want a smaller scale TV with a cabinet just there. And the next up, if you want a floating TV that looks a little bit smaller, we've got this design here. So this just uses quartz slabs on either side with a quartz stair in the middle there. And on top, we've just got some black wall, so 3 black wall just there. And then on top of that, we've got 3 iron trap doors there as well. And then moving along, we've got a modern curved TV, which I think looks quite nice. So I've just used 3 black banners just here. So the middle black banner is placed on 2 quartz blocks just there, with the other 2 banners just placed on the floor side by side there. Also got some speakers either side by using some grey wool with an item frame and some black wool in the middle of these. And then just on the bottom, we've also got some cyan terracotta just for a base there. And then just 2 quartz slabs either side just for a stand for the TV as well. And the next up, we're going back to a retro design here. This is just a larger retro TV. So I've just used some black wool with some oak trap doors either side, and then 2 aerials on top for a larger retro TV there. And then next up, we've got another small modern design here with another cabinet. So we've just got 2 quartz blocks either side with 2 quartz stairs in the middle there. On top of that, we've got 2 black wool with some white carpet and some white banners just to frame it off and keep the TV looking quite fresh and modern there. And then finally, for a even smaller floating TV, I've just got 2 black wool with some iron trap doors on with 2 end rods underneath there. And now for some fish tank design. So first up, we've got this kind of modern kind of cylinder fish tank here. So just for this, I've just added some black concrete in a 3x3 square just at the bottom there, followed by some sand in the middle with a coral reef just on top there. And then using some blue stained glass, I've just gone all the way around, going too high, and that's allowing me to add some water in the middle as well. And I've just topped that off with some black concrete there as well. And then next up, if we want a smaller fish tank design, and we've got this design here. And as you can see, I've managed to add some fishes on front of some blue glass just there. And the way I've done this is I've used some invisible item frames. So I think these invisible item frames was a new thing in 1.19, 1.18, I can't exactly remember. But the way you get these is, so if you do /give, and then if you do @ and then P, And then what we'll do, if we tell Minecraft what we want an item frame just there. And using the squiggly brackets, I'm going to add an entity tag, which is pretty much just the properties of the item frame. So we're just adjusting the properties to make it invisible. So if I just add a colon there, and then another squiggly bracket, and if we type invisible just there, and then I'm just going to add colon just there, 1B, and then 2 brackets on the end there. And if we just press enter there, that'll give us an item frame where if we place it, it will be invisible and we can place stuff in that. So that's what I've used for the fish tank just here. So yeah, and I've just placed this on some quartz block with some signs just at the bottom there, just to make it look more like a cabinet. And next up, if you want a more realistic fish tank, we've got one here where we can actually add some fish in. So for this, I've built it inside a wall, so you're going to need a 2 thick wall for this. But this is just 3 grey concrete on the bottom, followed by 6 glass on top with some grey carpet on top there, just to finish it off. Then if we just destroy these 3 blocks, as you can see inside, I managed to decorate the tank a little bit. So we got some kelp, we got some coral, got some sand, and we've also got some blue wool there, and some glowstone to light up the tank. So just having that thick wall will help us decorate the fish tank as we like. And that just creates a nice real fish tank just here. And now for an interesting modern fish tank design. This is very futuristic. But what I've done for this one, just using some grey concrete, I've done like a kind of like an upside down L shape just there. So this is 2 thick. And then I've just done that, so it's, how high is it? So yeah, it's 4 high and 2 thick, so just going like an L shape just there. And they also, and then just kind of like intersecting with it, I just added a 2x8 kind of rectangle, which is 2 thick. And again, using the invisible item frames I showed you earlier, I managed to add some fishes on here just to make them look like they're swimming here. So this is quite nice if you want something a little bit different. And the next up, if you want another alive fish tank, but we want one that's a bit smaller, we've got this design here. So this is just 2 iron trapdoors there to make it look more like a cabinet. And I've just got some glass panes there so we can see the fish. And as you can see, we've got the fish in there just chilling. And then just by making this a 3 thick wall, just by this area here, again, we can customize it like the other one. And then we can add our little fish in there. So that's quite nice for a smaller fish tank design just there. And the next up, if you want to keep it simple and modern, I've just got a very simple design here with just 2 black concrete just there, blue glass, more black concrete on top, and again using those invisible item frames to make it look like there is some fish inside there as well. And the next up, we've got a globe fish tank design here. And for this, what I've just done, I've got some more blue stained glass. I've just placed 1 block just there, and then some blue stained glass panes going around the first block. Then moving to the second block, I added just 4 blocks of blue stained glass on top of those panes, just underneath, so on top of those panes. And then I just added some more panes in these corners here to round it off a bit. And then just doing the same thing we've done on the bottom, on the top. And then I also managed to keep the center hollow where we can add some water and add a little fish just in there as well. And the next up, we've got another fish tank here, but this time it's in a wall, which I think looks quite nice. Kind of looks like an aquarium, this one. What I've done for this one is, so it's just some quartz stairs just here. So we've got 2 quartz stairs either side, 1 normal and then 1 upside down, and just 2 quartz slabs in the middle of these. And then what I've done for inside of here, I've added some blue stained glass here with some invisible item frames on it. I've added some more fish there, and just for a nicer background, I've just added some blue ball at the back just there. And the next up, we've got another modern tank design here, and this one is just a 3x3 square with black concrete. And then I've just built the wall up on the right hand side there, but then added some blue stained glass going around just here with some sand in the middle. And again, using the invisible item frames, managed to make it look like there's some fish inside there. And then on top, just to finish it off, I added some white carpet just to neaten it off that little bit more. Next up, we've got another modern design. This one's another interesting design. So what I've done for this one, just on the back, I just added 2 quartz blocks there with some blue wool on top. So I just built that so it's 2 high. And then another 2 quartz blocks just there, and then 2 quartz slabs on top. And then just to frame it in front, I've added 3 quartz slabs just there, and then 2 quartz blocks on top of the third slab just there, and then another 3 quartz slabs coming back. Now I just filled this area in with some blue stained glass panes there, and then again using our invisible item frames, I added some more fish to make it look like they're in there. And then moving to a more simplistic yet still modern design, we've got this one where it's just a 2x4 grey concrete rectangle just on the bottom there. I just added some blue stained glass panes just going on top just here, and then again just topping it off with the same dimensions as the base just there, just for a nice little sleek design there as well. And now this is a very interesting oak design that I came up with. It kind of looks like a shark, which is why I thought it looked quite cool. So this one, what I just done for this one, for the base, I just added some slabs going in a diagonal pattern here. So 5 slabs in total, with 5 oak blocks in front of these slabs, and then just another row of oak planks going across at the back there. And just filled the areas in. Then I just added some blue stained glass panes just going around here. And I just mirrored what I'd done on the bottom on the top as well. And again I managed to add some water in the middle for our little fish friend to chill just there. And the next up we've got this interesting fish tank design, and I call this the ice cube fish tank design. I thought it'd be a cool concept to add this. And what I've done, I've just used some cyan, light blue and blue stained glass for this. And again, using the invisible item frames, I made it look like the fish was in the tank. And then just to finish it off here, I added some white carpet there as well. Next up, we've got the fish tank dining table here. And just for this, just added some blue stained glass, a 3x3 layer just there. And then using more invisible item frames, I managed to add loads of fish going around it to look like it's swimming inside. And then I just added some white carpet going all the way around. So I just added 2 layers of that for a nice table design there. And the next up, we've got another wall fish tank design. I do like this one. This one kind of reminds me of one you'd find in an aquarium. As you can see, what I've done here, I've just used some deep slate stairs here. And I've just placed 2 at the bottom there, and then 2 on the top just opposite each other. Now I just staggered this on a diagonal just here as well. And I've just made sure the wall is 3 thick for this one as well. Then if I was to show you these trapdoors, we've got all the fish in here chilling. So again, I just decorated it so we've got some blue ball at the back, some sand on the bottom, some glowstone, some kelp, and some coral there as well. Next up, we've got some bathroom furniture here. So first up, we got your classic bathtub. And this is probably my favourite, to be honest, just because of how simple and kind of, I think it just looks the closest to like a modern bath you'd get these days. But I do like this bath design quite a lot. So this is just done by using some quartz stairs going all the way around, just like this, and filling it with some water. And I'm so happy that Minecraft changed the mechanics of water, because it now allows us to do this, which is quite neat. And the next up, we've got the more fancy jacuzzi style bath. So for this, I've just added some stairs going all the way around here with some glowstone in the middle just to light it up. And then just around, I've added some birch trapdoors just to frame it off that little bit more to make it that little bit neater there. And then moving along, we've got a similar bath design to the first one I showed you, but this one uses some stone bricks, which I think just looks a little bit more interesting. And then got some glowstone this time to light up the bath, and also a tripwire hook for a little tap there. And now if we want to go back to the good old days, we've got the trap door style bath here. So again, we just got trapdoors going all the way around. So I've just got some quartz on the bottom there with some trapdoors around. And you can, but what I do like about this bath is that you can fully sit in it. And the next up, we've got a more sunken bath. So this is kind of the bath you'd probably see maybe outdoors, like an outdoor jacuzzi bath, something like that. But this is a fancy one where I've just curved the stairs around and then just added some sort of like wooden decking around, which I think looks quite nice. Just neatens it off that a little bit more as well. And the next up, we've got an interesting red style bath. This is quite a fancy bath. So what I've done for this one, I've just done 3 red terracotta just either side, leaving a gap, and then just 3 quartz slabs just down there. Then I just added a quartz stair either side with corner quartz stairs just on the edges just here, and just top that with some white carpet just to neaten the whole design off. I like this one just because of how unique it is, really. And now let's move on to some showers. So first up, we've got your classic kind of ensuite shower here, so your singular shower. So I just used some black stained glass panes here, just going all the way around on a base of stairs, which are just placed so they're curved all the way around. And then in the middle of it, I've just added an iron trap door. Then inside the shower, I've just added a tripwire hook for a nice little shower head there, and a button, obviously, to turn the shower on and off. And then if we want something a little bit different but still modern, we've got this shower as well. And this one kind of uses the same concept. So again, we've got our quartz stairs which curve around with a trapdoor there for a drain. But this time we've got a smaller door. So we've got a 2 long grey stained glass pane door just here, which is 3 high. And then we've also got our stone button there to turn it on. And then we've also got a bigger shower head here. And just to do this, I've just added a stone brick wall there with a stone slab underneath there. And for another shower design, we've also got one that is more of an enclosed space. And I do like, and this one uses grey glazed terracotta, which I think acts as a nice tile design in just any build, really. If you want something where there's tiles, I think glazed terracotta is a nice thing to use. So I just use that for the back just to jazz it up that little bit more. And we just got a stone button there, another tripwire hook on top. And then for the door, I've just got some grey stained glass panes with a stone brick wall there as a handle. And then for a drain, again, just 2 quartz stairs on the bottom there, and then 2 iron trap doors just there as well. So in total, this shower's pretty much 4 thick. So it's a 4x4 area, this one. And next up, if you want a shower that's more curved, we've got another open example here. So again, using the quartz stairs, I kind of just went in like a zigzag pattern just there. And again, just filled this with some iron trap doors there. And again, just a stone button there and a tripwire hook at the top there for another shower head as well. And now let's get on with some toilet designs. So for this one, we've got quartz stair just there, and then a quartz stair behind it with a quartz block on top. And I've just got a button so we can flush the toilet, and it also opens the lid just like that. I like this one just because of how modern and clean and pure looking it is. And the next up, we've got another toilet design which uses a cauldron this time. And what I do like about using a cauldron is we can fill it up with a water bucket here. So if we just fill it up, as you can see, it looks a little bit more like a toilet, which works. So that's why I like using a cauldron. And just behind it, I've just added a stone brick wall there. And then I just added a quartz block on top with a button there as well. And the next up, we've got your kind of built-in toilets, which you'll probably see in like public restrooms where they're kind of built into the wall. For this, I've actually used a hopper, which is going in to the block here. I've just added a trapdoor on top with a lever. And then for the box on top, just a quartz block there with a button there to flush it like that. And the next up, we've got a more wooden style toilet, a little bit more organic kind of toilet. So I've just used a composter there with a oak trap door on with some banners going around it. And then coming to the back, we've got a quartz stair there with a quartz block on top, and again an oak button there to open and close it. And last but not least, we've got another style toilet, which is more of a floating style. So I've got some diorite walls just on the bottom there with an iron trapdoor and a quartz stair just behind it with a stone button on top. And now for some kitchen design. So first, we've got some oven designs here. So first up, this is our first modern oven design here, which looks quite nice. So we've got 2 furnaces just there. Then I've just added some item frames with a quartz slab in them, and I've just rotated them. And then I've also just added some black banners there to make it look like some oven doors there. And then for a hob design, I've just added 2 iron trap doors on top just there. And then for another oven design, this is a different method of, so 2 item frames just in front of the furnaces, and then this time I added some black stained glass panes there, which I think looks quite nice for an oven door effect. And then just on top, instead of using the trapdoors, I use some detector rails, which I think looks quite nice, and they almost look like hob rings, which I think was an interesting thing to use. And then moving along, we've also got a modern red style oven here, and this one uses the new trapdoors, which I just realised they actually have like a circular pattern in the middle there, so I think it looks quite nice for like a hob ring. So I thought they'd be a nice thing to use. And then we've also got a red banner just here. We've got this, so we've got the same kind of door design I done on the other side, just over there. But the difference is this banner uses a red border and a half, what is it, like a half red pattern on the banner there as well. So it uses a banner design just like this. And the next up, we've got an industrial bakery oven here. And just for this one, just added 3 quartz either side with some quartz slabs on top, and just some levers on the left, some signs on the right there, and then just some stone slabs, just leaving half a gap in between there. And if we go inside the oven, we've got some cakes which have just been placed kind of like just one above the stone slabs just there. So I've just placed the cakes so they're in the gap where the slabs are, so they're visible from inside. And then just at the back, I've just added some stone bricks and then just some more white concrete just to thicken the wall so we can fit everything in there. And on the bottom, I've also added some campfires as well, just to make it look like the cakes are baking, which I think looks quite nice. And then moving along, we've got our pizza oven here. So for this, just using some stone brick stairs, I just went all the way around, going all the way around there. And then with some quartz blocks, from this point I went all the way around until I met up here. And on top, I covered the whole roof with some more quartz, but then at the front I just added 2 at the front just there to give it a nice little arc where the pizzas go in. Then again, using the invisible item frames, it allowed me to place some items down. So I just added some pumpkin pie because they look like pizzas. So I just placed them down there. And then with that just with a standard campfire, I just placed that there for a nice pizza oven effect there. And for a little chimney, I just added 2 diorite walls and a stone slab on top there. And next up, we've got a modern gadget. We've got our air fryer design here. And for this, what I just did, I've got a block of netherite here. And then for a handle, I just used a tripwire hook just there with an iron trapdoor on top and a stone button on the side. And also for a little plate design, so for example, if I want to cook a lovely baked potato in the air fryer, what I do, I just placed an item frame down there. And then I placed a baked potato on top. And I added a birch pressure plate on top. And that just hides the item frame and it makes it look like the baked potato is on a plate, which I think looks quite nice. So if I just show you an example of this, if I get myself an item frame, just here, let's grab myself a potato and a pressure plate. And then what you can do, place the item frame down, baked potato there. If I just place a pressure plate on top, it will hide the item frame and make it look like a plate, which I think looks quite cool. And then if you want a fire basket, what I've done here, I've just got an armor stand which I've placed on a half slab underneath just there. And then using a piston, I just pushed the white concrete into the armor stand. And then I also used an invisible item frame to add a little baked potato there, just to make it look like the basket is carrying a baked potato, which I think looks quite neat there. And the next up, we've got another appliance. We've got a stand mixer design here. And if any of you saw my kitchen hacks video, this was included in it. Just on a few tweaks to it really, not too much. But as you can see, we've got a armor stand just there. And we've also got a cauldron, which has just gone into it. So I used the piston to push that inside. And we've also got a birch sign just there and a button to turn it on and off. And that's just on a quartz block with a quartz stair on top of that and a quartz slab there. And that just makes it look like a nice, cool little cake mixer there. So next up for some fridge designs. So first up, we've got your classic white fridge here. And I added a stair there to make it look like a water dispenser, which I think looks quite nice. And also just a button for a door handle there as well. And the next up, we've got our more industrial style looking fridge. And this one uses pistons. And all this is it's just 4 pistons just placed next to each other there, which I think looks quite nice. And the next up, we've got a similar fridge to the white one, but this one's a little bit smaller. So this is very simple. It just uses some red concrete there and then a quartz stair in there for another water dispenser there. And then moving along, we've got another fridge where you can see the inside of it. So I've just added 2 grey stained glass there with some grey concrete going around it. And then 2 tripwire hooks for a handle. And then I made this wall too thick, which will allow us to fit some items inside there. Added some glowstone for a bit of extra light there. And then with an invisible item frame, added 2 little items just there. And the next up for some microwave designs. So firstly, we've got our first microwave here. So firstly, we just got a grey stained glass block there. Next to that, we've got an iron block with a stone button there with 2 trapdoors on top. And then again, with an invisible item frame, I added some mushroom stew to make it look like there's something in the microwave. And the next up, for a red microwave design, I just used a banner which looks like a window there. So this is similar to the red oven design. The only difference is I added a middle stripe in the banner just to raise it up that little bit more to make it look more like a microwave door there. So I just added that. And on top, I got some black carpet just there. And we've also got a polished black stone button there as well. And then I also made sure the counter was 2 blocks thick so we can hide the banner just there. And then for some washing machine designs as well, this is a very simple design. We've just got the iron block there with an item frame and a blue stained glass there, and then just a trap door on top. And this is quite nice if you've got quite a small kitchen and you don't have much room. But if you're looking for a more laundrette style washing machine which is bigger, we've got this design here. So this just uses 4 quartz slabs which go in a circle just here with 2 slabs on top. And again, I just built this in a 3 thick wall because we've got to fit something inside. So inside, just using some invisible item frames, I added some leather armor there. And just filled the rest of the space with some smooth stone just to make it look more like a drum. And just by doing that, it makes it look like there's some clothes in the washing machine just there. And that is 150 different furniture designs that you could potentially use in Minecraft. And if there's any bits of furniture that you really enjoyed, I'd love to see your feedback in the comments. And of course, if you did enjoy this video, I'd really appreciate a smash on that like button. And also, if you want to join my Discord, all my socials are below as well. But yeah, so thanks for watching and have a good day.